Hello. Are you
Yes,
hello?
you are audible.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Good morning.
And we will be starting in 5 minutes.
Yes, we'll do. No problem.
Ma'am, shall we start?
Yes, Tanisha.
Ma'am, we can proceed.
Yeah, please go ahead, ma'am. Yes.
Thank you so much. Yes, Tanisha.
Dignitaries, faculties, and all my fellow students. A very good morning to all of you. It gives us immense pleasure to extend you a very warm welcome on behalf of Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya. I, Tanisha Sharma, and I, Vishuddhi Jain, welcome our distinguished guest, Ms. Priyadarshini Poonam Ma'am, Director SVIA Architect Vishal Yardi, Professor Architect Navjyoti Subedar, Associate Professor SVIA, respected Deans, HOIs and HODs, faculties, staff members, and all the students. We are delighted to invite you to the webinar of IGBC Student Chapter organized by Sri Vaishnav Institute of Architecture, Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, Indore. Ma Saraswati, the revered patron of academia and the arts, symbolizes the embodiment of knowledge and creativity. In honor of this auspicious occasion, let us worship Ma Saraswati.
असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युर्मामृतं गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः या कुन्देन्दुतुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्करप्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा
In 2017, IGBC student chapter started in Sri Vaishnav Institute of Architecture SVV Indore to promote sustainable development and green building concepts among students. With webinars, seminars, and other events by IGBC student chapter creates an awareness about green buildings and sustainable development. Also encourages the use of sustainable materials and eco-friendly construction practices. I welcome our esteemed guest, Ms. Priyadarshini Poonam, CII IGBC Counselor, to this IGBC event virtually. Now, I request Professor Architect Navjyoti Subedar for a welcome address.
Good morning. Good morning to everyone present here. It is my immense pleasure to welcome you all to this special webinar organized under the IGBC student chapter SVV at SVIA, that is Sri Vaishnav Institute of Architecture. It's in SVV. I extend a warm, hearty welcome to all of you, especially the distinct speaker, faculty members, and student participants joining us today. The IGBC has been at the forefront for promoting sustainable and environmentally responsible building practices across our country. This webinar is yet another step to share the journey towards creating a greener, healthier, and more resilient built environment. Today's session brings together the leadership and practitioners who have been doing good work in IGBC green building and net zero case studies, shedding light on current trends and innovative strategies that is the need of the hour for climate responsive design. We are honored to have with us Priyadarshini ma'am, a counselor in IGBC who's been working consistently for this to inspire us for all of us here as we are in. So I just want all the participants to engage actively, ask questions wherever necessary, and take your valuable learnings for ahead. And let's engage, learn, and grow together in this green journey. Thank you for joining us. Let's welcome once again, and it's over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am, for your enlightening words. I would like to read about the achievements and accolades of our guest speaker, who is going to address the webinar with their words of expertise. Ms. Priyadarshini Poonam, Mechanical Engineer, CII, IGBC Counselor for Green Education, Academician, CII, I-WIN, Telangana Member, ISHRAI, Certified Engineering Professional, former Women Chair, ISHRAI, Aurangabad Subchapter. Ms. Priyadarshini Poonam is a passionate advocate for environmental sustainability and green education, serving as a counselor with CII IGBC. With over 17 years of expertise, she bridges the gap between academia and industry, equipping future engineers with the knowledge and skills to tackle pressing sustainability and climate change challenges. Her expertise spans design for additive manufacturing, generative design, robotics, and automation, complemented by her leadership in establishing centers of excellence in CAD, CAM, and CAE, additive manufacturing, and industrial robotics within educational institutions. As an academician and thought leader, Ms. Priyadarshini champions innovative curricular that empowers students to drive meaningful impact for a sustainable future tenure. Her multifaceted career also includes roles as a CII WIN Telangana member and an ISHRAI certified engineering professional. Alongside her as a woman chair for ISHRAI Aurangabad subchapter, Maharashtra, through her work, she continues to inspire and shape the next generation of engineering professionals dedicated to responsible practices and planetary well-being. As we look forward towards today's enlightening session, let us call our distinguished speaker, Ms. Priyadarshini Poonam, Counselor CII IGBC, to address the audience. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Tanisha, for a warm introduction, and a heartful thank to all the staff members from SVVV University Indore. So I will start sharing my screen. Okay. I request you to just let me know once my screen is visible to everyone. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. A very warm welcome to all participants and faculty members. I first and foremost thank the management of your institution as well as Purvi ma'am for extending her invitation to give you a webinar. And as per her invite, I would like to present about green buildings and net zero building case studies. So as I proceed, I would like to take the questions at the end of the session. So you can post your questions in the chat as I proceed. So first and foremost, I would like to explain about my parent institution, that is the Confederation of Indian Industries. So the Confederation of Indian Industries is a non-government, not-for-profit, industry-led, industry-managed apex industry body. It was founded over 127 years ago. CII has a proactive role to play beyond policy and advocacy, and it helps in building competitiveness in Indian industry. Overall, CII has 11 Center of Excellences, which represent each niche area of the industry, and each Center of Excellence has a unique area and a sector to focus. I come from CII Saurabhji Godrej Green Business Center. The head office is in Hyderabad. It was established in the year 2001. It is a unique public-private partnership initiative by CII, the then government of Andhra Pradesh, USAT, and Pirosha Godrej Foundation. This Center of Excellence is for energy, environment, green buildings, renewable energy, and water and climate change activities which take place in India. So from this Center of Excellence at Hyderabad, we advocate and do make certain policies where we try to help the government of different states to bring in policies related to building sector, especially from the area where I am coming from is related to green buildings and net zero buildings. So moving further, if you can see our journey, in the year 2001, we were the first green building, that is the IGBC headquarters in Hyderabad. So my office is built up in an area of about 20,000 square feet, whereas the entire site area is 2 lakh square feet. It was the first green building which was certified by the World Green Building Council, WGBC. It is the first green building in India and the third in the world. And over a period of time, if I would like to quote as of now, it is about, we have certified more than 15,807 green building projects across India. And we have set a benchmark of having made 13.56 billion square feet green. So more than 13.56 billion square feet buildings have adopted IGBC rating. Coming to the net zero projects, we have more than 182 projects which are certified as net zero or which have been registered to be certified as net zero. So what is a green building? Since a green building is something which you all are aware about, and since the student chapter I could as understand from Ms. Tanisha has been established in the year 2017, let me just give you a quick ready reckoner of what does a green building mean by definition. So a green building is one which helps you conserve natural resources, uses less water, helps you optimize energy, making your building more energy efficient, generates less waste. There is less amount of waste being generated and sent to landfill, as well as it provides healthier spaces, which means it improves the indoor air quality or improves the productivity of people who are occupying that particular building, whether it is for their commercial purpose, where they are places of work, or it is a place for residential purpose where they like to stay or go back home. So these are 5 major principles on which the principles of green building function. So coming to IGBC or Indian Green Building Council has 32 rating systems, and all the 32 rating systems have a whole building approach towards sustainability. And each and every rating system, depending upon the building typology, tries to cater the needs of these 5 areas. That is, first is site selection and planning. Second is water conservation. Third is energy efficiency. Fourth is use of building material and resources. And lastly, how do we improve the indoor air quality? So all the 32 different rating systems developed by IGBC fall in line to all these 5 areas. Here, the first case study which I am speaking about, or which I will brief about in detail, is from my own center, that is the IGBC or Green Business Center, which is established in Hyderabad, from where I am speaking. So the first point where I would like to highlight is that how we have made our site to be sustainable. So our site has been made sustainable in the form of providing swirls and tanks where we can store the rainwater. At the same time, we have actually planted more than 550 varieties of saplings in the year 2001. And this has actually related or caused more and more biodiversity to be attracted to our site. So we can proudly say that we have been able to cite about more than 25 different species of butterflies and different plants and different birds, sorry, because of the immense variety of plants which have been planted at our site. Coming to the sustainable site initiative, what else we have done is we have tried to have roof garden on our roof, as well as this roof garden will help you to reduce the heat mitigation happening inside the building, because the green roof helps to reduce the amount of heat entering inside the building. At the same time, we have these plastic trenches which are being ingressed inside the land, which also helps to reduce the heat regression. We don't have an artificial parking cover. We have a natural cover of parking, and these are the trees which help to act as parking for our vehicles which are parked in our office. At the same time, our land is having permeable pavement blocks. So these blocks also help in causing more and more water to be absorbed. And this is the way in which we have tried to use these all methods in our site. So this is the first point which I had explained earlier about how we have selected a sustainable site. Coming to the sustainable site, I would also like to suggest, since all of you come from the architecture background, the orientation of the building also plays a very significant role. So whenever you are trying to construct a building, try to see you select a proper orientation where there is less amount of heat ingression happening inside the building. As a passive architecture measure, when you select a proper orientation by doing a virtual building simulation, energy simulation of your model, it will help in reducing the amount of load which will come onto the active systems. So it is very important that whenever you are starting or constructing a building, as you will become consultants and architects in future and start working with different developers, whenever you are going to the site, try to see that you have a proper orientation. When the orientation is proper, automatically it reduces the amount of heat which would be entering the building once it has been constructed. Coming to the next important aspect is how we have achieved water efficiency at our site or at our location. As you can see to your left, this is a pond which has a capacity of 8 lakh liters. This has been built in order to store the rainwater which is flooding or which passes into the building. We have actually reduced our water dependency on municipal water. There has been about 35% reduction, and we reuse all the water which is in our building. Secondly, we have adopted the principle of having waterless urinals at our place. We also have sprinklers and drippers which are available, which are about efficient enough to cater to the needs of our landscaping. And this particular diagram where I am trying to speak about the biological treatment of the gray water, which comes from our toilets, and this is known as phytoremediation. So phytoremediation is a biological way of treating your gray water. The plants have a peculiar potential of trying to clean the gray water. And this gray water, once it has been cleaned, it is used for gardening purpose. So phytoremediation is one of a very good method, which you also can try to propagate at different places wherever you are going to work in future. So this actually caters the entire need of our office during the summers, winters, as well as the rainy season. Moving further to the next important aspect where we have how we have made our building energy efficient. So our building has been made energy efficient by considering the type of coolers which we have selected or the type of chillers which we have selected. So in our building, to cater our cooling or air conditioning needs, we have 25 TR chillers which are water cooled. They have zero ozone depleting potential. At the same time, we also have variable frequency drive, which has been mounted on our AHU units. So AHU stands for air handling units and VFD is variable frequency drive. So a variable frequency drive actually enhances the efficiency of your equipment. So if you want to speak in the colloquial language, a variable frequency drive is similar to the regulator of your fan. When your fan is moving, in order to change the speed from low speed to high speed, you have different speeds mentioned on the regulator. So the variable frequency drive actually helps you to control at what speed or at what point of cooling is needed. So it will control the amount of electricity to be supplied to your motor and from the motor to the particular cooling device. The variable frequency drive has an advantage that it firstly helps in reducing the wastage of energy. Secondly, it helps you to supply controlled air to a particular area as and when needed. And thirdly, it makes your device function more, which means it enhances the life of your chiller or an air conditioning unit. The next system which I would like to speak about is we have two wind towers which are located at our IGBC, that is the Green Business Center. These two wind towers, though Hyderabad is not a windy area, but still they have a thermal mass, and the thermal mass is made up of AAC blocks, that is autoclaved aerated blocks, and they have a sprinkler which is of water which passes through them. So whenever the day is windy, the wind towers function and they supply cool air. They try to take in hot air from outside. The AHU units helps to move the thermal mass and the cool air is supplied inside the building. We also have an efficient BMS system, that is the building management system, which takes care of all these equipments which are helping us to make our place cool. We also have carbon dioxide sensors which are available at our place, as well as this particular sensor is a lighting sensor, which helps you to understand that whenever there is a need for artificial light, then only we switch on, then only the lights get switched on. Because of the efficient passive architecture measures which have been implemented at our location, the advantage is our dependency on artificial light is very less. Our office is quite light. There is enough amount of daylight which enters into our office, and our dependency on artificial light is reduced. Unless and until the outside light is dim, then only the artificial lights gets lit upon. Next, here I would like to speak about the fenestration part. We have good fenestration on the north courtyard, and this also helps in reducing the heat ingression. The type of glass which we are using at our office is a double glazed glass. It is a high performance glass. So a high performance glass helps you to reduce the amount of heat getting ingressed into the room, but it gives you good amount of light. So these are few of the features which we have implemented at our office, which has made our building energy efficient. Moving further to the part of materials and resources, we always try to reuse material. We always try to use material which can be recycled. So as you can see here, the furniture which is being used in our office is made up of recycled material. Secondly, these two cylindrical entities, one is a rainwater pipe and second is a particular pillar. Both have been aesthetically decorated by mosaic tiles, which was obtained from a construction site where it was thrown as a waste. Thirdly, we try to use paints which have low VOC content, that is volatile organic compound content, so that the indoor air quality is maintained. At the same time, our false ceiling is also made up of material which can be recycled. We also have these particular shields which have been used, which are also recycled. We have a very good waste segregation entity being monitored at our place. We make it a point that waste is segregated and put in respective bins before it is sent to the landfill or before the waste moves away from our office. Later, what are the measures which we have used in order to maintain the indoor air quality at our office? First and foremost, our office is declared as a no smoking zone. Smoking is not allowed. Secondly, the seminar halls and the meeting rooms have carpets which have very low volatile organic compound content. And these carpets have been certified by the Carpet and Rug Institute of India. Thirdly, we also have used paints which are in permissible limit, which have permissible limit having low volatile organic compound content. We have efficient carbon dioxide monitoring sensors, which have been maintained at the exist of our exhaust area, so that this will help us in monitoring how much carbon dioxide is being generated in a particular seminar hall or space, as well as we try to carry out building flush out regularly. So we have tried to use automation to the maximum extent possible in order to maintain the indoor environmental quality or air quality of our building. Coming to the second case study, so you had seen the case study of each and every way in which we tried to implement green measures at our CII Godrej Green Business Center. Coming to the next case study, which I would like to speak about, is the Bombay House, which is the Tata headquarters in Mumbai. It is an IGBC green existing building, and it has been rated as gold in the year 2014. So it is India's first IGBC gold rated existing building and the first platinum recertified existing building. So at the initial level, it was certified as gold rated, and later it tried to bring in certain good measures which it implemented in its existing building and got certified as a platinum rated building. I hope you are all aware about the different rating systems of our IGBC. That is, we have a pre-certified level, we have silver level, gold level, and platinum level. So platinum level is the pinnacle which is achieved. So how did Bombay House achieve this particular platinum level? So let us understand the structural feature of the Bombay House. It is a 4-storied building with a roof penthouse office building. It is a heritage grade 2 rated building by the Heritage Committee of Bombay Municipal Corporation. And the total area of the building is about 10,871 square meters. Further, the Bombay House, if we try to see this particular slide, helps you to understand how was Bombay House able to achieve the platinum rating. So if you can see, when it applied for the rating, it was a gold rated building in the year 2014, and it had an energy performance index. If you could see here, it is about 192 kilowatt hour per year meter square, which was not within the limits for what it needs to go for certification. But they had decided to bring in certain improvements. So in the year 2011, they improved their energy efficiency by trying to bring in efficient chillers. Okay, so they tried to implement efficient chillers for cooling, which had a coefficient of performance of 6.3, as well as these chillers had variable frequency drives. So as you can see, the EPI, that is the Energy Performance Index of the Bombay House, had improved in the year 2011. It was 192 in 2010, but in 2011, it became 144, which means the building became energy efficient. The consumption of energy reduced. Further, in order to improve its energy efficiency more, in the upcoming year, that is 2012, they had retrofitted their lighting. As you can see here, they had changed their CFL lighting with LED lighting. This again also helped them in improving their EPI. And in the year 2014, they actually went for taking up star rated appliances. As you are all aware, Bureau of Energy Efficiency comes up with an initiative known as star rating and labeling of devices. If you see at our house, we will have air conditioners as well as refrigerators, which have a rating guide, energy rating guide, which is pasted at a sticker at the start of the particular device. And there are stars which are there. So any device which has a five-star rating is said to be the most energy efficient device. And the device which has less star rating is said to be a less efficient device. So it is always advocated, or it is always prescribed, that you go for a good star rating device whenever you are going for purchasing of any electrical equipment. And in the year 2016, if you see the implementation, the EPI, that is the Energy Performance Index, further went down to 90 kilowatt hour per year per meter square. And the initiative which they took here was that they bought in efficient building management system and they also changed their passive architecture by using dual glazed glass. Okay, so they had changed the glass. So as could they change the glass of their windows, it helped in less heat ingression, as well as the BMS system, that is the building management systems, help them to maintain their devices properly. So building management system actually helps you to understand how are your systems functioning. That is the chillers, the air conditioners, or the cooling systems, how they are functioning. Do you need to carry out some predictive maintenance analysis or do some preventive maintenance analysis can be assisted with the help of BMS systems. So if you can see the current EPI, which is 90 kilowatt hour per year per meter square, and this was, and they were able to achieve by bringing in effective passive architecture measures as well as building, bringing in automation into their system. So as you can see, for an existing building also can get converted into an energy efficient building if proper energy efficient energy conservation measures are taken into account. If you see the journey of the Bombay House from the year 2010 till 2016, by bringing in effective energy efficiency measures, they were able to reach to the EPI of 90 kilowatt hour per year per meter square. So what Bombay House did differently? So the different ways in which Bombay House tried to achieve is, firstly, they had solar PV system which was mounted on their roof. They also had dual flush toilet. They also tried to conserve water, not only in terms of energy, but also in terms of water, as well as in terms of waste. Thirdly, they brought in BFD systems and BMS systems. They went for high efficiency water heating and cooling, that is chillers. They tried to use Energy Star appliances, which had a BE star rating of 3 star. Further, they went for energy efficient heating and cooling systems. They changed their lighting. They bought into LED lighting. They had a rainwater collection pond, which was included. They also brought in composting facility, and whatever rainwater was collected in the collection pond was used as gardening purpose for the landscape. And lastly, they also brought in certain solar thermal systems. So as you can see, by using efficient passive architecture measures, efficient active devices, and renewable energy sources, you can definitely reach to a stage of becoming a green building and a net zero building. And these are all practically doable things, students, and they can be done at your place also. So if you can see the energy efficiency retrofit efforts, what has happened with the Bombay House. Yes, they had to invest money, but the amount of energy saving and parallelly the amount of carbon dioxide saving which could be achieved can be seen in this slide. By bringing in efficient initiatives, they were able to save about 5,17,500 kilowatt hour of energy, which actually helped them to save 297 tons of carbon dioxide. As you all know that India has committed to become net zero by 2070. And building sector is a sector which has lot of emissions. It is said that the building sector actually emits about 40% of emissions or contributes to 40% emissions, and it includes carbon dioxide materials. So as future architects, it's your responsibility to take care what type of efficient design as well as materials you use in the construction of your buildings. Coming to the next case study, here I would like to speak about the Godrej Bhavan in Mumbai. So the Godrej Bhavan in Mumbai is also an existing building, and the major retrofits which were carried out by this particular existing building were, firstly, they tried to improve their existing heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system. So they upgraded their chillers. That is, the water-cooled chillers were brought in with a coefficient of performance of 5.5. Secondly, they brought in building management system, that is BMS. So they installed digital energy meters. They were able to monitor the amount of energy being used for different applications or purposes, as well as increase the productivity of their office. Second, the major retrofit they carried out is they brought in sourcing of energy efficient technology and green materials. So they bought in CFLs with low mercury content for their lighting purpose. They upgraded their electrical systems, that is the greater building safety, as well as they made it a point that there should be less number of faults happening because of the electrical systems. In order to mitigate the urban heat island effect, as you can see, they brought in a concept of green roof. Okay, so the green roof is a very good concept in which you can reduce the urban heat island effect. And the urban heat island effect, once mitigated, so a green roof will help you reduce the amount of heat getting ingressed inside your building. So here is the image of the green roof. As you can see, you have trees and grass and certain concrete tiles which have been laid down. And if you see the thermal scan image of this particular physical image, you will see this terrace garden. The tandoor tiles are some which are actually absorbing lot of heat and they are red in color. And if you see the temperature, it goes up to 50 degrees Celsius. So the tandoor tiles will absorb the heat and increase that heat inside the building, which will actually increase the temperature of your building. But at the same time, if you see the landscape area where there is grass and there are trees, the temperature has automatically come down. It is 40 degrees Celsius only, 40 degree plus or minus 5 degrees Celsius. So as you can see, vegetated landscape on the roof, a green roof can always be a good alternative or a solution for reducing the urban heat island effect. Nowadays, if it is not possible to have a green roof on your top, you can always go for cool roof concept. Okay, so the cool roof concept involves paints which have a good SRI index, that is the solar reflective index. So depending upon your requirement, you can use these good alternatives to reduce the urban heat island effect. So coming to the cost benefit analysis of this particular project, if you see the different energy efficient retrofit components cost have been mentioned in the table, and the total cost of energy efficiency measures installed was about 53,84,000. So when NRDC did a case study of the Godrej Bhavan in April 2013, as you can see to the graph to your right side, you will see the cost versus consumption. Yes, the initial cost involved was high because the retrofits had to be bought in. But as you can see, the return of investment could be achieved in a very short duration. Okay, so they had started with retrofitting in 2009 and 10, but the electricity bill consumption also reduced. It was 5,94,696 kilowatt hour in 2009 and 10. But if you see in 2011 and 12, it came down to 5,21,856, which means the energy efficient measures or the different measures taken up in retrofitting the building made it much more greener and made it an efficient building. Now coming to net zero buildings, here I would like to brief you about IGBC's mission on net zero. So the vision of this particular mission is that to facilitate India to become one of the foremost countries in transforming to net zero by 2050. Though the government has said that we have to become net zero by 2070, we do prefer that prior by 2050, we should reach a net zero sector, especially the building sector. So a journey to achieve net zero buildings by 2050 is to be done in all aspects. So we have to become net zero in terms of energy, in terms of water, in terms of waste and carbon also. And as of now, we are proud to say that there are more than 350 organizations that have committed to achieve net zero status for their new buildings as well as existing buildings. So our vision is in line to the vision of World Green Building Congress. So a whole life carbon vision, which needs to be achieved by 2050 globally, it contributes two aspects. One is we have to become net zero operational carbon. And secondly, we have to become net zero. We have to achieve the status of net zero embodied carbon. So net zero operational carbon means the emissions of carbon which are happening because of the different appliances which we are using at our place. So a net zero carbon building is a highly energy efficient building with all remaining energies to be used from on-site and off-site renewable sources. So here it means that whichever energy device, that is, suppose we are using an air conditioner, we should take care that this particular device is running on solar power, as well as the refrigerants which are helping in providing the cooling are also green refrigerants, which means they have very low global warming potential. Second is net zero embodied carbon. So net zero embodied carbon specifically speaks about the life cycle analysis to be done when you are constructing your building. So a net zero embodied carbon or infrastructure asset is highly resource efficient with upfront carbon minimized to the greatest extent. So embodied means what is the carbon content of the raw material which you are using during the construction of your building. So embodied carbon takes care of each and every component or each and every raw material which is being used in your building. Please keep in mind the carbon emissions come from two areas. One is embodied carbon and operational carbon. So embodied carbon remains throughout the life of the building. So it is very important that we reduce the carbon emission by making proper choices of selecting low carbon material while constructing the building. Moving further, in order to receive or achieve the net zero carbon status, we have to first go for net zero energy, then go for net zero water, and thirdly, you have net zero waste. When we have reached net zero energy, water, and waste, then only we can reach to a state of net zero carbon. So here are few definitions from IGBC which help you understand what is net zero energy. And all these documents are available on www.igbc.in website. You can go to the website and download the relevant rating systems. So IGBC net zero energy concepts or caters encourages the use of renewable energy as a source of energy for meeting the building requirement. Okay. And it helps you to have energy efficient devices so that there is an overall reduction in the energy cost. IGBC net zero water, it helps you to reduce the water consumption so that you depend less on the municipal sources of water and use alternate water to meet your water demand. That is, if you're using water in the kitchen for your washing purpose or the rainwater which you have stored, how it can be used for different purposes. So the net zero water rating system helps you to understand how you can reduce your dependency on municipal water. Okay, or on rivers or on these different sources, because water is a very important source which is getting replenished. Thirdly, IGBC net zero waste to landfill. This particular rating system helps you to understand that how we can increase the use of more and more products which are green, which have low carbon content, as well as try to see how we reduce our material consumption. Okay. We should make it a point, students, from henceforth that we do understand what purpose we are using this particular material. So suppose, let me say that if you have a notebook to be purchased, is it possible, can you go online and write it than writing on it on the notebook? Or can you use a notebook which is made up of recycled paper? Okay. Try to be more conscious on whatever material you will be using it, and try to see if the material is of no use for you, can it be used by some another purpose? So here we try to encourage recycle, replace, and reuse concept for the net zero waste, and try to see or try to minimize the different ways in throwing the particular product to landfill. And lastly, the net zero carbon promotes the resource efficiency, encourages the use of renewable energy, carbon sequestration. And what are the different methods of offsetting the carbon throughout the design and construction phase, as well as the operation phase of the whole building. So here, the important concept of life cycle analysis of a building comes into picture. And life cycle analysis of a building is an important tool which all you students should learn. Okay. So since you are still in your college, please make it a point that you do have a good training on LCA, so that life cycle analysis actually helps you to understand how much is the embodied carbon in your building, how much will be the operational carbon, how are the different ways of mitigating this particular carbon which has been generated. So I would advise that all of you do take up a course on LCA, because this will be a ready reckoner and a help for you in your future. Next, these are the rating systems. The rating system, IGBC Net Zero Energy Rating System, water, waste, and carbon. All these rating systems are readily available on the website. You can go to www.igbc website and study them as a part of your curriculum. So what are the advantages of going to net zero? First and foremost, you are conserving the resources. That is, there is an efficient use of energy and integration of sustainable materials to reduce the overall impact on the environment. Secondly, you are reducing the operating cost. Since you are reducing the consumption, automatically your utility bills over the time will be reduced. Third, the most important thing is you are reducing your carbon footprint. That is, you are reducing the GHG emissions and helping the country to combat the climate change. You are making your buildings to be adaptable to the climate adversity. You are also trying to increase the thermal comfort by making your buildings as high performing building envelopes will help you to ensure that there is a consistent temperature maintained inside, so that the life quality of the building as well as the people staying inside the building is improved. And lastly, the net zero energy buildings are less vulnerable to power outages. So as you could see earlier, because of our dependency on our electrical system, because the light went off, we all were stuck. We couldn't start the program early. Okay. But if you had an efficient solar power or renewable energy source on your system, this would have not happened. So these are the different ways of mitigation which you can take up. And these are the advantages of going to net zero. So the net zero energy status, if you want to achieve, if you want to make your building net zero energy building, so it has both passive and active measures to be taken into balance. So the passive architecture measures, since you are students from the branch of architecture, it is important that passive architecture measures also play a significant role while constructing a particular building. And few things which have been mentioned here is what type of orientation you are selecting, what type of glass you are selecting, what type of raw material you are selecting to build your building, how is the envelope. Okay. Coming to the active measures, that is energy efficiency, how you are making your building more energy efficient, what type of devices you are using, what type of efficient systems you are using in terms of air conditioning, lighting, auxiliary, and appliances. And lastly, how are all these devices being used? From where are you trying to make these tools work or make these equipments work? That is the renewable source of energy, which can be either on-site, having a solar panels deployed on your roof or on your site, or you can procure the energy from an off-site source. So when active and passive measures both go hand in hand, whenever you will have an integrated design approach being implemented in the design of your building, you can definitely achieve the net zero status. Coming to the renewable energy part, it is important and we advocate that you should install on-site or off-site renewable energy systems to achieve the status. And it should be balanced. If there is less amount of on-site generation, you can at least balance it by catering it or trying to get energy from the outside. As you can see, the bottom three images, to the left is the Kablahindra Kurg Net Zero Energy project, and they had actually mounted the solar panels on their parking space. Second image is our own roof at our Green Building Center. Our entire Green Building Center is now net zero energy platinum by design. And we retrofitted some part of our building where there was green roof with solar photovoltaic panels. And lastly, this is off-site energy where you are having a hybrid system where you have solar panels as well as wind, both working together to generate renewable source of energy. The on-site renewable sources can be, you have a solar photovoltaic power plant, either it can be rooftop or ground mounted, or it can cater the parking sheds. Secondly, you can also have small capacity building windmills. If your climatic zone is wind friendly, you can actually have small capacity windmills either mounted on the roof or ground mount. So these are the different ways in which renewable energy systems can be used so that your dependency on the fossil fuels or on your grid is reduced. Moving further, so this is a case study of CII Godrej Green Business Center. It is a net zero energy platinum building by design. And we were able to retrofit our existing building by deploying energy efficient measures. So we have a bifacial solar photovoltaic modules installed on our roof, as you can see here. They have a capacity of 138 kilowatt per solar PV system. And this is a unique project which is being made to demonstrate and showcase the viability of establishing net zero buildings. We also made a change in our devices, that is in our chillers. We brought in energy efficient chillers for achieving the net zero energy platinum status. Moving further, this is a project where an existing building. This is a Capgemini campus of Bangalore. It has achieved a net zero energy platinum status in terms of operation. So it had done an extensive retrofitting of its existing cooling system, lighting and auxiliary system, which were the major energy guzzlers. There is efficient BMS system, which continuously monitors and helps in advising performance improvement. Thirdly, 15% of the grid energy is offset by on-site renewable energy. As you can see in this diagram, they have solar panels which are mounted on the roof. As well as wheeling of green power, they're about 14,260 megawatt hour per year to meet the net zero performance. So whatever they could generate on-site, they have generated. Otherwise, they have tried to depend on the off-site source to procure the energy. The second project is the Capgemini Technology Services India Limited project from Hinjewadi. This project is in Pune and it has received a net zero energy platinum status in operations. So the total energy demand of the campus is 2 megawatt per hour power. On-site solar PV power plant is there. And there is a green energy and the green tariff policy given by the Maharashtra government. Okay. Because of having this power from the renewable energy sources, the energy performance index of the building actually improved and it is 0.69 as measured on 23rd August 2023. Further, this is another project which is in Jaipur. It is Vaibhav Global and it's a commercial project. So it is a first factory project in Rajasthan. Please keep in mind, this is a factory. And it has reached the net zero energy operation status under IGBC net zero energy rating. So as you can see, you have an efficient solar panels being mounted on the roof and the energy performance index ratio was 0.92 as evaluated. So wherever they could have roof, they have not left the space vacant, but they have tried to use their roof for making it energy efficient. Second is the commercial office building. So every year we have a flagship event known as Green Building Congress. And in this Green Building Congress, we try to appreciate the efforts of different builders, developers who have got in or brought in efficient measures of making their building efficient. So this is a commercial building of Unilever R&D Bangalore, and they have been awarded near net zero energy in operations. So the green features implemented by this building were, they were able to save 50% of energy as per ECBC guideline. So student ECBC is a mandatory guideline which needs to be followed by all the builders as per the National Building Code. ECBC stands for Energy Conservation Building Code. The project was able to offset 80% of the total energy use through renewable energy, which was and the on-site contributed about 21%. And they made changes in efficient building envelope. And how did they bring in efficient building envelope? By maximizing the daylight and natural ventilation. So this project is from Bangalore. Second project is another commercial building project, and they have received the status of net zero energy. This is a DRI office from Manesar, Haryana. So here they were able to achieve the net zero energy status in operations by bringing in certain passive architecture measures. That is, they used double glazed glass. They optimized the lighting power density to reduce the load. Secondly, they brought in energy efficient variable refrigerant systems, use of a good technology known as chilled beam for energy efficient operations, as well as they complemented this by having 129.6 kilowatt power solar PVs for renewable energy generation to achieve their net zero status. Coming to resorts, we also certify resorts. So this is a resort that is Club Mahindra Madikeri from Kuruk, Karnataka. So this particular resort was able to reach the Net Zero Energy Operation Award. It has an energy performance index of 0.84. It reached its net zero compliance by having an on-site solar photovoltaic setup. Okay, so this way it could become a net zero energy building. Later, this is another commercial building which is in the heart of Maharashtra, that is the Godrej and Boys plant, Mumbai annexure building. So this project, it's a commercial office building. The project meets the compliance of energy efficiency as per IGBC. It has an on-site solar PV which he is able to generate 120 kilowatt power, as well as it purchases energy from an off-site source which gives it about 1.2 megawatt power. Moving further, coming to hospitals or coming to hospitality, this is a project known as Jackson Inns. It is in Maharashtra. This project was also able to meet the net zero energy in operations by bringing in efficient green features. Later, let me speak about Capgemini Talwadi, Pune, Maharashtra. This is actually an IT park. Okay. So as you can see, this is a different project. So the project meets the compliance and has an EPI of 0.66, and it is able to meet its 100% energy requirement as it has an on-site solar panel with energy metering or known as net metering arrangement being employed. Further, this is another IT park, that is the International Tech Park in Chennai, and this particular park is centralized core for perimeter views and has maximum daylight. Okay, so it has more than 15% energy efficient as compared to IGBC, and it also has an efficient 250 kilowatt power on-site renewable energy being installed, solar panels being installed on its roof to meet their demand. Later, coming to L&T Technology project, where they have received Net Zero Energy by Design Award, which is in Chennai. They have designed to procure green power to meet the energy requirement, as well as they have an on-site renewable energy. They have actually made their HVAC systems more efficient so that they consume less amount of energy. Further, this is another Capgemini Airoli project in Mumbai. Here also, as you can see on the roof, they have extensive solar photovoltaic panels, which help you make it more and more energy efficient as they are using their energy from this particular source to run their functions. This is an office building, ICICI. So ICICI Bank is at Jodhpur, Rajasthan. It also is a project which meets 100% of its energy requirement by on-site solar photovoltaic panel and net metering. So these are few of the organizations which have actually adopted IGBC net zero rating systems. And these rating systems have been adopted in different areas, that is net zero energy, water and waste to landfill. So coming to the next part is that IGBC also has a green campus rating system. So your institution can also go for green campus rating system. The entire institution can become a green campus. So there are different features which are included in the green campus. So as architecture students, you can definitely take up the project where you can actually work with IGBC members to see that how your campus can be made green. So the benefits of having a green campus is that in terms of tangible benefits, there is immense potential to save energy, save water, increase the green cover and reduce the carbon emission. At the same time, the intangible benefits are it improves the microclimate, conserves the natural resources, improves the health and well-being of the occupants, promotes biodiversity and enables circular economy. Here are few premier institutions across India which have actually adopted this green campus rating. Coming to the last part of my presentation is in context to the green education initiatives which we take place or which we try to deliver from IGBC. So the green education team at IGBC actually conducts programs as this one program, as well as we curate certain practical student programs for architecture and engineering college students. So our aim is to enable India to become the largest pool of trained professions in green built environment. It helps, and our purpose is to enable education institutions to develop industry-ready professionals trained with green concepts. So we are proud to say that we are having more than 370 IGPC student chapters. Your institution is also one of them. We also conduct periodic guest lectures, webinars, and training programs. We do conduct certification programs for students. We have more than 60,000 plus professionals who are trained and more than 7,700 plus IGBC accredited professionals. We conduct Indian Green League, which is happening in the month of June, as well as we have exclusive programs for faculty also. So how you can become an IGBC accredited professional? So if you are a professional, you can go through the program, become accredited professional. Students can become IGBC accredited professional associate, and faculty can become IGBC accredited faculty. So this is a certification program which we offer online. Sometimes we can do it offline only. So it's a 5-day program, about 20 hours, which we take place, and it happens regularly every month or bi-monthly. Later, what is the significance or what is the importance of an IGBC accredited professional? So they help in facilitating different green building projects. They help in educating the consultants on the projects with the green concepts. They help in hand-holding the team. They further help in the documentation and the process required for green certification, as well as our rating systems. All our 32 rating systems have a credit which is awarded if your project has a IGBC accredited professional as a participant. Moving further, there is an immense need of green professionals. So as you can see, the Indian building sector is growing at a very massive scale, and the industry requires nearly about 1 lakh trained green building professionals per year in different sectors like is government, private, developers, corporators, contractors, project management, and entrepreneurs also. So the new services and opportunities which have emerged are you can become a green building consultant, you can become an energy simulator, commissioning agent, become trainers like us by delivering, disseminating information to all the common man, as well as become third-party assessors. Further, this is a small brief of the course on life cycle assessment which we conduct. So life cycle assessment actually helps you to understand the concepts of building life cycle, helps you to understand what are the factors which are contributing to the carbon emissions, as well as have an hands-on experience on the life cycle assessment tool. All the results or all the values which you get from this particular course, which help you to become better decision makers. Lastly, I would like to speak about our flagship event, that is the Green Education Conclave, which we conduct every year. Last year, we had conducted this particular conference or conclave in Bangalore at BMS College of Engineering. So this particular conclave actually is a one-day program which brings in students from different branches of engineering. We bring in people who are niche at the area of work. So we had eminent people working in this building sector so that they can come and engage with you people, and there is a lot of knowledge enrichment is happening. So this year, in the year 2025, our Green Education Conclave 2025 is happening at Bombay. IIT Bombay is the venue. The date for the Education Conclave is 26th of November, which is further being done with Green Building Congress, which is happening from 27th to 29th November 2025 at Geo Center, Bombay. So it is my pleasure to invite all of you to please be a part of this education conclave and enrich your knowledge in terms of green building concepts and net zero concepts. So I end my presentation and I will stop sharing my screen, and I thank you all for your patient listening. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am, for
Thank you.
insightful session.
Yes.
Now we have a few questions in the chat box. I would like to read it for you.
Yeah.
The first question is, can traditional and vernacular Indian architecture be seen as an early form of green building design? What lessons can we relearn from them today?
Yes, a very good question. And green buildings are not new to India. Okay, as well, I'd like to tell you here. If we see our conventional buildings, that is the Hawa Mahal of Jaipur or the Taj Mahal, or the different materials which have been used in constructing them, green concepts are not new. But over a period of time, what we have done is we have forgotten to use those concepts. Okay, so green concepts, as you said, vernacular Indian architecture can definitely be seen and is also being implemented in the construction of green buildings as we progress. So yes, we should always try to relearn from whatever we have lost to get in touch with. Please go back to the vernacular books, read them, and try to understand how different things are being implemented. So this is definitely, this is what I would like to answer. Yeah.
Ma'am, next question.
Yeah.
What is the base of categorization of different criteria of IGBC? For example, rainwater harvesting system has particular points. How IGBC decides that each criteria has some graded weightage?
Yeah. So what IGBC has done is it has developed 32 different rating systems. All these rating systems are developed as per the building typology, for what purpose it is being used. And depending upon for the purpose, whether it is being used for a commercial purpose or it is a school or it's a built environment like a campus, depending upon what would be the capacity it needs to cater, the needs of the people who are occupying the building, the credits have been given. So the credits will move across the basic principles which I have explained, that is in terms of water conservation, sustainable site, energy efficiency, but the pointers will change. And for your ready reference, you can always go to the www.igbc website where you can see that what buildings are and how these buildings, the pointing has been changing. So the commercial building will have a different pointer. Okay, the principles will be same, but the credit points allotted will be different as per the occupancy of the building. I hope I have answered the question. Yes.
Another question is, how passive design measures affect the green rating of any building?
Yes, so passive design measures are very important, students. Since you are students of architecture, it is much important that you go in line when you are trying to build a building when it comes to particular occupancy. Please keep in mind that you people cannot work in silos. Let me give you an example. So whenever you are trying to construct a building, design a building, try to bring in the mechanical engineers, the electrical engineers, the contractors at the start. This is known as an integrated design approach, because when you are using passive measures, that is, as I mentioned earlier, you should have very good orientation. Secondly, good fenestration. Third is the type of glass which you are using, because when the passive architecture measures integrated are good, the materials having low carbon content, when they are used, automatically it reduces the load on the active measures, and this will anyways help in making your buildings much more efficient. So it is not only IGBC which gives importance to the passive architecture, but ECSBC, if you see the Energy Conservation Sustainable Building Code, which is still in draft state, it also gives significant importance to the passive architecture measures to be implemented. Yes.
Ma'am, can you please elaborate some materials related to green interiors?
Yeah. So there are different materials. We have a green interior rating system. Okay. So the furnitures which can be made up of bamboo, which can be readily replenishable material, as well as there are projects where the bamboo has been used for entire interior construction. Okay. We have a vertical known as Green Pro. So Green Pro vertical actually certifies materials which are green, which have low carbon content. So there are more than 10,000 materials which have been certified as green. And these materials actually are used in different interior spaces. So any material which can be easily replenished from made like materials made like furniture made from bamboo is said to be easily replenishable. Okay, material which is a waste at one place can be reused for your purpose, like bagas. Bagas can be used for making furniture, as well as cane. Cane is also commonly used for making your particular different equipments for interiors. Yes.
Ma'am, another question is there any IGBC directory where one can find the 15,000 plus buildings certified by IGBC for the students' case study purposes?
Yes, you can always reach out to us. Okay, we have a directory which is there on www.igbc.in, or you can reach out to your faculty coordinator so that they can reach. I think you can reach out to Purvi ma'am so that she can connect with Mr. Anish, who is a representative from Indore, and definitely they will help you understand in collecting data or giving you data for all the buildings as per your case study. You can do that.
Ma'am, last question which we have. In the race to achieve green certification, are we at risk of reducing sustainability to a checklist rather than a mindset?
Yeah. The first and foremost thing which I would like to bring to all of you to the table is that it is not about getting your building certified. It is not about the green certification in terms of that I should go for a platinum rating or gold rating. Please keep in mind at IGBC, we want the intent to be made clear. Okay. So becoming a green building is a voluntary purpose. It is not mandatory. And secondly, as you pass into your journey of making India net zero, your intent has to be clear. And whenever we are certifying a building with the rating system, we do make it a point that there is no greenwashing happening. Okay. Because I have seen over a period of time that whenever buildings come for certification, it is important to understand that what measures are required. So that's why now occupants like you, consumers like you are becoming more and more, we are trying to educate you people so that whenever there is anything related to greenwashing happening, it is important that you come back to us and let us know what is the problem. Okay. So whenever you are starting to go for a green building certification, please start at the design stage. Okay. Become pre-certified first. Then, as you could see the case study of the Bombay house, how they became energy efficient over a period of time. Yes, they took 6 years, but they brought in the energy efficient measures step by step. And when they got it into it, they made their building much more sustainable. So IGBC always advocates the intent, and the intention of me delivering this session to all of you today here is to make you more conscious about whatever you are going to do in the future, because you are the future architects of India. Okay. So please do make conscious decisions. Please have extensive knowledge study. Make it a point that you come back to us wherever there are queries, and we are always there to help you out.
Thank you, ma'am.
Madam, Tanisha, एक minute. Madam, thank you for very informative and in-depth session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very
I
much.
think those who have attended, they really benefited a lot.
Yes,
You
sir.
have covered almost 14 buildings in a session.
Yeah, sir.
That is not easy, along with the other
Yeah.
information.
So I was specially informed by Purvi ma'am that case studies was something which would be
Yes.
of interest for students.
Yeah,
And definitely, sir, in future also, whenever you need any support or help from us, we are always there to support you and your
And
students.
that too, few case studies were of retrofitting as well.
Yes,
So
sir.
that is the added advantage.
Okay.
And
Thank
in
you, sir.
students, I don't know whether they will understand the importance of this or not.
Yes.
But yeah, it was a great opportunity for all
Thank
those
you,
who
sir.
attended it.
Thank you.
Ma'am, just a small query.
Yes, sir.
In Bombay House, you said EPI reduced to 90.
Yes, sir.
So what it was earlier?
Sir, it was at the start, it was about 1,200 something when they had applied in 2010. They were actually not going to this particular rating, but when they bought in energy efficient measures, their consumption automatically reduced. So,
Okay.
so that's why they say that we don't expect change to happen intermittently, sir. We do expect it should be an incremental change. So
Yes.
first they changed the HVAC system, then they changed the lighting. Then they bought in renewable, good star label devices also, sir. Wherever they felt that the energy consumption was because of a device which was an energy guzzler, they tried to replace it. At the same time, the passive architecture measure also they took care, sir, where they went for a double glazed glass wherever for their windows so that the heat ingression could reduce and more daylighting could happen. So this way they were able to achieve about 90 kilowatts. So they were gold certified earlier. Later, they went for a platinum certified green building. So the intent is what we would like the students to know about, that yes, existing buildings also can become net zero and green in nature if proper measures are implemented. And this is something which is integrated, sir. Everyone has to play a significant role at the start when they are doing it, because that is what we expect for India to become net zero by 2070. Yes.
Yeah, another common question is, when we go for green techniques and green design, how much increase in cost is expected and how much period to recoup it in years? What
Yes.
is acceptable? How many percentage cost increase, how much, and how many years to recoup it?
Yes, sir. So if you'd have asked me this question 10 years down the lane, I would have definitely said that green buildings were costlier than the conventional buildings. But now the prices have come down to such a minimal level that any building can achieve return of investment within a 3 years period of time.
Okay.
Because the acceptance of the different green measures has been adopted extensively by developers and contractors. That is, the value of the solar panels has come down drastically. Waterless units have come down drastically. You have double glazed glass also available at a very optimum cost. So as more and more adaptability has increased, acceptance has increased by the market to make their buildings green, the cost of the different components being used has come down. Buildings are able to achieve it in a period of minimum 3 years to 6 years, depending on their application. Let's say like a commercial building or a residential building. Yes, sir.
3 to 6 years. Okay.
Yes,
okay.
sir. 3 to 6
Okay.
years.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Now, I would like Vishuddhi Jain, student coordinator, to propose the words of thanks.
I, Vishuddhi Jain, would like to thank our distinguished speaker, Ms. Priyadarshini Purnam Ma'am, Director SVIA, Architect Vishal Gadi, the respected deans, HOIs and HODs, faculties and fellow mates for this successful session. Additionally, I would like to thank our faculty coordinators, Architect Purvi Ghargunkar and Architect Priyanka Agrawal Ma'am, for their belief in us and encouragement throughout the preparation. Thank you all of the students for joining in.
Thank you, Vishuddhi. Let's embrace the spirit of spirituality, sustainability, and support the IGBC chapter in their noble mission. Together, we can build a future where architecture and design not only reflects our past, but also preserves our planet for future generations. I request everyone present here to raise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
With this, we come to end of the session. Thank you everyone for the day. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, SVV institution, Tanisha,
Thank you,
Purvi
ma'am. Have a
ma'am,
nice day.
Yardi sir. Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.